Hello everybody, my name is Cool, but I'm bringing out this video of me talking about some board games, and this video is just a standalone video for the series that I'm doing because I decided that I'm doing the series. If you click on this video, you probably already know what you're looking at, but if you're watching live on Twitch, thank you for joining me live on Twitch. For those who don't know, I do stream on Twitch, my recordings whenever I can, twitch.tv/coolblue, COLBLU. But at any rate, this video series is going to be playing through the Railroad Tiles base game plus all the expansions. I decided to do this because I wanted to do this. I don't know how else to say it. This video is not sponsored by anything. I bought this with my own money, so take that however you will. I am going to play some background music though because I like background music in my videos. So there, I have some background music going. Now, as far as this whole entire video series, this video is to kind of explain some things so I can try to not have to explain it every single time. But essentially, I'm going to be playing through all of the expansions in the next few videos that you're going to see here, and I'll be playing through the expansions in order. As you can see, there are 8 different expansions. There's another expansion that I don't have, that I don't have access to. I think it's like a hospital or something expansion. It adds some modules that you can add into the base game. But for the most part, I'll be playing through these expansions in this order, from top to bottom. I'll do a playthrough of the base game, and I'll do a playthrough of each one of these. And each video that I do in the playthrough, I will basically do 2 playthroughs in each video. One playthrough with some of the objectives, kind of a mix of expansion objectives and base game objectives. And then the second video, or the second playthrough in the same video with the other objectives that I didn't use, plus the solo challenge. And I will be doing all the playthrough solo. I thought about maybe doing 1 or 2 with a friend, but I was like, yeah, I didn't think I would just keep this solo playthrough series. I might add extra videos afterwards to kind of cover some of the multiplayer stuff. But at any rate, this is just a video just talking about that, just giving you kind of a heads up what the videos we'll have in the series. I don't know why the rulebook wasn't in its box, but essentially that's what I'll be doing. So you'll be seeing me do solo playthroughs. If you want to skip to the video that you want to learn more about the expansion of, you can go ahead and check out the video. For those who are looking for the one-stop shop video to kind of figure out what are my opinions and views on each one, I have done a separate video already where I talked about everything and just kind of gave my own personal ranking, but I'll just go ahead and at the top of the video so you can just have one video and just keep going in the series and not have to skip over. I'll just go ahead and give a quick little blurb about each one from my perspective, and I'll try to give it a rating of 1 through 5. Sure, I'm just making stuff as I go. So starting with the canals, I think the canals expansion, you essentially had the ability to place canals, and you can place gondolas to get points for bridges. It's a whole nice, pretty picturesque expansion, and it adds just the extra element of the canals that can cost you points if you don't place them correctly, but for the most part, they give you a little bit more flexibility. That expansion, if I had to give it a rating out of 5, with 5 being I liked it a lot, 1 being I didn't like it at all, I think I'll give it a solid 3, middle of the road for me. The next one is a countryside expansion. The countryside expansion essentially gives you pastures that you can place. So you have pastures you can connect, and you have barns that are on them. And you have animals that come with each selection of tiles that you pick. And every time you pick the tiles, you'll be able to place an animal. So by the end of the game, you'll be placing 8 animals on your board, and they can help you score points. And there's also some other rules involved with your scoring tiles, your objective tiles, you play with those. And if I had to give that expansion a rating out of 5, for myself personally, I would give it a 4 out of 5. So definitely higher up on the list than canals for me. Next is deserts. Deserts essentially gives you extra tiles that you can kind of build a little desert walkable area. Or drivable area, I don't know. It just kind of makes up like a little split in the road. It does look okay, and you have a set collection situation going on with the deserts because they'll have monuments inside of them, or landmarks, sorry, inside of them. So it's a set collection situation. You're trying to get the tiles, place them, connect your deserts, and kind of do fun, fancy station things. That particular expansion, I think I'll give a 2 out of 5. It wasn't that impressive, but it wasn't that offensive. And to clarify, 1 is like I would avoid, 3 is like I wouldn't mind playing it. So it's kind of on the lower end of the list for me personally for deserts. Not saying it's bad, it's just saying it's for me personally. Next up is energy. Energy is the expansion that essentially gives you some connecting that you can do between your town or your cities and the actual grid to kind of make sure they're powered. So you basically have to power your cities, and you score bonus points if your cities are powered. And there are some situations to where you want to have all your cities powered depending on which solo objective you're playing with. And again, I'm speaking about all of these from a solo perspective. I played only one of these with a friend, and that was just a base game. Sorry, I played only one playthrough with a friend, and that was the base game, and that wasn't recorded or anything, so it was just us having fun hanging out. But going back to the energy, it gives you a lot of cities to connect and a lot of goals, so it's pretty entertaining. It makes the game very puzzly, and for me personally, this is a game that I wouldn't want to become super ultra complicated. I just kind of want to sit at the table, place my tiles, get my Carcassonne-like feel that I like from this game. So for me personally, energy is not the one for me. So I rank it lower personally, so I'd rank it along with deserts a 2 out of 5. That does not mean it's bad though. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because if you had to pick only one expansion and you want the most variety that the game can give you, or the most challenge the game can give you, energy is the premier expansion. It's a great showing, it's just not my favorite for what I'm looking for in this game. So energy is pretty low on my list. Moving on, forest. Forest basically gives you another, you can build forest to score more points. So it gives you another scoring condition, gives you some more challenges. It looks very pretty. It looks really pretty with the trees that it gives you. I think Forest is definitely one of the prettier expansions. I think between Forest and between Forest and Canals, those are the pretty ones. Countryside kind of blends in a little bit, but going back to talking about Forest, I do think it's very pretty. I don't think it does anything else besides look pretty. So me personally, I'll put it as a 1 out of 5. It is not bad. I just don't think it actually adds anything to the game except for more tiles, which is fun. But I think I forgot to mention at the top of this video that I'm going to mention now. These expansions are not compatible with each other. So as a result of that, you can't necessarily mix this expansion with that expansion to get more stuff. You got to play with this one or play with that one. So that's the key thing to note. There's one exception to the compatibility, and that's the Worlds expansion. That one's compatible with all the other expansions. We'll talk about that last, though. Moving on. Forest is not my favorite. It's a 1 out of 5 for me. As in, if I could go back and repurchase everything, I wouldn't repurchase Forest, personally. Going back to lakes. Lakes is one that kind of gives you bodies of water. It gives you lakes that you can add to, that you can build out. And they let you build bodies of water. They kind of stop you from losing points from having open ends, I guess, open rail ends, unfinished lines. I don't know what word I'm trying to use here. But lakes gives you kind of that ability. You can also score points by having fairies that are in the water, and it gives you some extra objectives, and it makes it like a nice little interesting like board play. I rank it as a 1 out of 5. I did not like it. I think of all of the expansions for me personally, Lakes scored lowest for me personally. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, again, just like with Forest, Lakes, if I could go back and repurchase, I wouldn't purchase it again. This is for me personally, because I don't think it added too much. Moving on to monuments. Monuments gives you kind of this a meeple to walk around on the board. So as you're building your city, you'll be putting monuments out, and you'll be moving that meeple around in between turns to essentially go and activate these monument sites. And those monument sites will basically give you points at the end of the game for every monument you have, and there's also a set collection aspect to it, to where you want to have sets of the monuments. I think it's 4 monuments or 3. I think it's 3 monuments. So you want to have sets of 3 so you can kind of give yourself more points. It is a great expansion. Of all the expansions, it's my top, so it's definitely a 5 out of 5 for me personally. It is one of my favorites because you get to basically move around your board as you're building it, and that feels really fun. Kind of gives like a little bit more of an exploration aspect, even though you're not really exploring it. But it does definitely influence how you build your map, because you're trying to build your map so you can efficiently travel with each of your movement points that you get each round. So monuments is definitely like top tier for me personally. If I could go back and repurchase everything, I would just purchase, and I can only pick one expansion. I would pick monuments personally as the only expansion I got. Maybe arguable I might get worlds instead. I don't know, if I can get 2 expansions, I'll get monuments and worlds. But yeah, monuments is definitely my favorite. And then last but not least, world, the world expansion. World expansion basically gives you some more objectives for the base game, and it also gives you some additional scoring for the wooden pieces in the game. So it kind of shakes things up a little bit, gives you some powers, so to speak, for how they activate and how they work. Gives you some ways to kind of manipulate the board a little bit. It kind of adds a little bit more of the same of the base game, but it expands the base game. So if all you did was get the base game plus Worlds, you would get a lot of game. So I think that it is a very strong showing. It is number 2 on my personal list, and I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5 on my imaginary ranking system I have here. So essentially, I think it's one of the essentials. I think for sure Worlds is an essential expansion, no matter which other one you get. But I think if you get Worlds plus the base game plus one of these other expansions, you'll be in good shape. Even if you get one of the ones I rated as 1 for me personally, like Forest or like Lakes. Though I may not be a fan of them, you might be a fan of them. They might look nice for you. They might give you the extra rules you want. They might give you the feel that you want. It's up to you. But I think Worlds is definitely a good one because it's compatible with all of the expansions, and it gives you more stuff for the base game. And the base game is pretty solid too. So, okay, all right. This video was not intended to be a full entire review video, but like I said, I just want people who might have just come across this playlist and just watching this video just to see some playthroughs. You might want to know, hey, give me a rundown on each one. That's your rundown on each one. I'm not going to belabor the video any longer because I essentially said all this already on a different video, so feel free to check out the other video if you want more details. But barring that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of your hair. We're going to let the videos continue to the next playthrough, which the first one will be first one will be the base game, and then followed by Canals, and then going down the list in alphabetical order. If there are other expansions in the future, I will try to get them, and I will try to play them. No promises, but I'm pretty... I don't want to say I'm a board game completionist, but I'm kind of like, all right, I have 8 of the 9 expansions. I really need that 9th one. So I guess I'm kind of a completionist. I'm not a collector, though. I'm a completionist. That's why I try to protect my games so I can play them and have fun. Anyway, my rambles aside, thank you all very much for watching this video. Hopefully this series is useful, and I'm going to go ahead and get through starting to play some of these games for the videos. So, yep. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, I will see you all whenever.